Okay, so this is year one. We have a couple blueberry plants, a bunch of raspberry plants that we share with our neighbor. A lot of this was done before we started thinking about permaculture, so the gravel that we have along the edge of our lot here and down to this step down area with 4 raised beds. If I were to do it again, I would not use gravel. I would just use a mulch layer or wood chips, and I probably wouldn't have raised beds. I would have these all being well, not with cedar siding. These would be raised beds using permaculture design principles, or several other variants. Hugo-culture is another one with logs and dirt mulch. A lot of this, when we first bought this place, this was actually a there was this raised dirt mound here, and it was filled just with random plants, like your typical household decorations. There was this brick path on the outside that was just covered with weeds, and this was not a well-defined area. So we removed that. We flattened this out because this was kind of this dirt mound. We flattened it out. We flattened out that section a little bit and dug out along the fence line and had a flat area down here. And all that dirt wound up here. So we go to the lowest point in our yard, which is this pit. You can get a sense of the slope and the elevation. So we have that. We have full sun exposure. That's east. We have one tree, elderly, over here. I don't know the species. There's a lot of walnuts in this area. And then beautiful sunset to the west. Right now, with us entering into late fall, winter, sun's gonna move to this part of the hemisphere and kind of go like that. And then at solstice, summer solstice, rises about over here and sets over here. So lots of sun. So resource one. We're on top of this hill, and there's a road up here, and this kind of flattens out. There's a big hill behind us and a big hill that way. So the water is flowing this direction. And I know that because this area is like ripped from being waterlogged, kind of right here. And this doesn't dry out till probably July. And then wind. So we have a valley this way. There's a Kellogg Creek, and then a primary river, the Willamette, probably almost a mile that way. So we get this excellent wind that blows pretty, it's a regular wind, so we have fresh air moving that way. In the winter, this is what we have to be careful of, because when it's icy and snowing, it comes this way. So we'll need some sort of protection layer, trees and shrubs. Rain collection. This is another resource that I need to harvest. We have all this roof. This is like this, it's not sheet metal, it's like this plastic. So definitely going to capture that water. I want to capture the water from our roof, but I'm not sure of the shingles, so I need to do more research to see if I can use water going through shingles for plants. Maybe it's a resource I can use in a different way, just like gray water. So we got easy access to water, I mean, with some work and materials investment. It's not free like a stream or creek going through my property, but it's what I have, so I'll make do. So those are our resources. We're prepping this to be a pollinator section, so we'll have a lot of perennial flowers, edible flowers, teas, medicinal uses. This is the first selection of plants we recently got. We have what do we have here? A Japanese white anemone. Apricot sunshine. So most of these are full sun, and only one or two of these would like shade. So we're gonna plant all the sun loving in this area along with a fig, which is a little bit sad. Got a bit shocked going from the nursery to our location. Burns brown turkey. Which makes me think maybe I should go buy a bunch more of nursery plants just to create an ecosystem. And once these are happy, I can sell them maybe, or sell them for a reduced cost, so I can invest in helping these succeed, increase shade and resource harvesting, and at the end of that, maybe a month or two from now, I could potentially sell them, or I could just plant them. Maybe spending more now yields me more later. I don't know. I have to do some reading about that. Anyways, so pollinator station. This is going to be a planting area. We have a path goes alongside and around it to kind of get access to this area. This is just a beautiful plant. We do not water that, and it has the fence to give it shade, and there's nothing really it has to compete with, so nature already doing its job. We assisted it, but it's thriving on its own. This is another nature's gift. This area established on its own. You can see this encroaching garage provides a lot of shade. So all we do is just keep some mulch, and this is kind of a nice wetlands area that has some potential pond uses in the future. So if we have a path going around, we have a lot of cover crop we need to establish to help prevent erosion. Like I said, we need to transplant those figs and perennial flowers to this area. So this will be full sun exposure, slope, provide some shade, so we can start planting shade-loving plants on the backside and continue that down here. I have comfrey planted on the perimeter. provides a rhizome layer, and it's a nutrient accumulator. So I will just harvest the comfrey and either use it in compost tea, mulch layer, or to feed chickens, which is what I'm getting to here. So again, before I discovered the benefits of permaculture, I decided to use gravel. So it's here. I'm going to use it to my advantage, but it's not. This is too much. It doesn't work with nature here. I'm actually preventing it from doing its thing. So I need to pull this gravel back. I'm going to turn this into a chicken run. I'm going to have a like waist-high fence along this edge, and I will purposefully stack a lot of mulch on the back side here, so the chickens will have hopefully this shape, sun protected side of this mound with probably a lot of weeds and grasses trying to grow, so that's fresh food. In addition to that, this will be bug heaven, so the chickens will kind of peck in, so I can feed them and help keep this side in control. In addition to that, this will be all dirt, straw, and starting up there I'll have another, will be a waist-high gate. We will put all of our fresh clippings and food in the top here, and every week we will turn the pile, all the time, while between 1 and 3 little chickens will be scratching and feeding and eating, and by the time it gets down here in 3 or 4 weeks, I will have compost that is ready to be applied to these growing beds. So this year we established this raised bed, and this one we just started this week. We moved the dirt down and kind of carved it out how we want it to be. So this is actually the dirt that was already here. I took some from here. I have a layer of straw, dirt, manure, dirt, straw. This is going to sit until next spring. After the last frost, we will start planting. All I've planted is comfrey, and this beautiful bush is another one of nature's gifts. That is sorrel. That is sorrel. Awesome. So this is just going to be one, probably multiple guilds. I'll probably use spaces in between the comfrey as a guild. Perennial vegetables, annuals, perennial flowers. Majority of them will be perennials. We want this area to be established. At some point we want to plant maybe a couple apple trees. I forget what it's called, but they're like horizontal and slim, so you can have it like along a couple posts. So we want that planted somewhere here, and that way we don't cast too much shade on anything over here. We have a growing bed here, which is dirt I got from a place here in Portland, Oregon, and this is a compost manure mix. They also have this brand called White Lightning that's very popular, and that's like a ready to grow compost manure, or not manure, processed compost, and a bunch of organic additives like worm castings and those little like peat Ross mocks and such. So anyways, got this bed got our paths established. We have a greenhouse. And I think the start to a forest garden using permaculture design principles. Yeah, this is September 2017.